Your mind has a strong bias towards what is familiar, and that is not always a good thing. Hi, my name is Heidi Molense. I'm an award-winning life coach, neurolinguistic programming practitioner, and hypnotherapist. Welcome to today, where we are going to investigate the sometimes negative effects of our mind, our subconscious mind, gravitating towards the familiar. The familiar is comfortable to us, and it signals security and stability to the mind. And that is what our mind loves. But this can often be a rather bad thing. For instance, we all know about this phenomenon with lottery winners, where very often it happens that people who win the lottery lose all of that money and then some in a relatively short period of time. Now, why is that? They are not familiar with having large sums of money to spend, so they continue making the choices that they used to make when they did not have enough money, or when they did not have a lot of money. Bad investment choices, living from hand to mouth, perhaps spending everything that you have in one go because that's what you need to live hand to mouth, for instance. Or not putting money away, not saving. Those behaviors are the behaviors they had when they were at lack of money, and now it's just being transferred into this new life, and it's really costing them dearly. Another example is people who grow up and do not receive the love and the care that they need as children, very often go on to live adult lives where this love and this care is totally unfamiliar to them. So when they do receive love and they do receive care, being so unfamiliar, they subconsciously push it away because it is unfamiliar to the brain. And remember, the brain gravitates towards the familiar because it makes us feel comfortable and gives us a sense of security. So the second love and care comes to these people, they subconsciously push it away because it created in them a feeling of insecurity, instability, and discomfort. Another example is people having a job where they are not treated particularly well. They perhaps not earning the best salary, it's just getting by, but they simply do not go out and look for anything better. They're not open to that option. That option doesn't occur to them. And when one mentions that option to them or suggests it, they shoot it down because it's unfamiliar. It's making them feel uncomfortable. The human mind wants comfort, and the human mind wants stability. So the human mind finds it so scary, that potential danger of the discomfort of change, that the mind would say, I'd rather the devil I know, I'd rather stay in this setup, even though it's far less than ideal. I'm not treated well, I'm not earning the money that I'm worth. There's not really much scope for growth in this place of work where I'm at, but I'm comfortable. I know what I'm getting. Which is actually quite sad if one thinks about it. So what to do? Investigate the areas of your life where you are feeling that you deserve more, where you, with perhaps the help of a loved one or your colleagues or this video, where you've opened your mind to the possibility that you are not living as best you can, that you are not getting what you, by virtue of the fact that you're a human being and you were created on this earth, you are here to thrive. God did not create us to come to this earth and struggle. That's not what it was about. So in any area of your life, and write them down. It's great to see things like this in front of you, to see where you can do better, where you should do better. Right, so what can you do to make the familiar unfamiliar? So if our mind gravitates towards the familiar, because it gives us comfort and gives us a sense of stability and security, but it's not good for us. A familiar that is not good for us, like the 3 examples I mentioned earlier. So what has to happen? You have to turn the familiar into unfamiliar. How do you do that? Change your perspective. Try to see things from a different angle. Imagine how somebody else may perceive it. So once you've written down your list of things that you think that you want to change because you deserve better, you know in your heart of hearts, now look at this list and your brain's going to kick against it because remember, it wants what's familiar. Look at it from a different perspective. Pretend you're somebody else. Pretend you're looking at somebody else's life there and see a different angle on the situation. The next tip is to reframe the narrative. Look for silver linings. Look for lessons learned. And in that way, reframe your narrative. Your narrative is the story, so put it in a different frame. It's like when you have a picture and you put a frame around it and you put it up against the wall. If you take that picture down and you put a new frame, the picture kind of looks different. And that's exactly what you're going to do. Another tip is to break in your routine. If you want to address familiar to unfamiliar at work, switch up your work routine. If it's in your personal relationships, switch up your personal routine, your daily, everyday, sometimes even mundane routine, because there's also comfort in that mundane routine, in the repetitiveness of that. So switch that up. If it's in your finances, adopt different financial routines and habits that can help you to make the familiar unfamiliar. The 4th tip I have today is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is simply the highest frequency that we as human beings can vibrate at. It is impossible to feel anything negative whilst you are being grateful. So that is a great escape from familiar to unfamiliar. Today's scriptural motivation comes from Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Go and read that whole section. It's absolutely beautiful and 100% applicable to each and every life, even today still. I'm so glad you joined me today. Please comment and let us know how you are turning your undesirable familiar into the unfamiliar. Kyk mooi na jouself. I'll see you soon.